Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to another how-to video. In this video, we're going to talk about how to get married in Islam, what the process looks like, what's required, and how to go about it based on the Qur'an and the Sunnah. So what's the ruling of marriage in Islam? Any Islamic ruling can fall under one of 5 categories. It's either going to be wajib, which means obligatory, mustahab, which means recommended, mubah, which is permissible, makruh, which is disliked, or haram, which means forbidden. Marriage can fall under any of these depending on your personal circumstances. So if you're mentally, emotionally, and financially ready, and you fear falling into zina and haram, then marriage becomes wajib for you, an obligation. Otherwise, it remains a highly recommended sunnah, something the Prophet ﷺ strongly encouraged. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Marriage is from my sunnah. Whoever turns away from my sunnah is not from me." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Qur'an, "And we certainly sent messengers before you and appointed for them wives and children." So here you learn that the messengers themselves were married. Now marriage is also part of the fitrah, the natural disposition Allah created us upon. And so you know, when Allah created Prophet Adam, He also created Hawa because he was in need of companionship. And what marriage gives is mercy and tranquility. And yes, it really is half of your deen. The Prophet ﷺ said, when someone marries, they have completed half of their deen, so let them fear Allah in the remaining half. And to the youth, the Prophet ﷺ said, "O young people, whoever among you can get married, then let him do so, for it helps lower the gaze and guard the private parts." So yes, we should all aim for marriage. Are you actually ready to be a spouse? Not just to have a spouse, but to become one. It's easy to say you want someone that is pious, patient, attractive, emotionally mature, but are you yourself working on those traits? For the brothers, can you lead with love, provide with dignity, and uphold qawwamah, the responsibility of leadership, care and protection, the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intended for you? Are you ready to be a father and a mentor? For the sisters, are you ready to be a partner in building a home with strength, grace, and maturity, to nurture the next generation with love and guidance? It's really important that we work on ourselves, we grow in our knowledge and fix our salah, build our emotional intelligence and strengthen our connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the foundation that if we build properly, we are able to become right husbands and wives. So what should you look for in a spouse? The Prophet ﷺ said that a woman is married for 4 things: her wealth, her family, her beauty, and her religion. So marry the one with religion. This advice of the Prophet ﷺ is extremely important because deen comes first. This does not mean that attraction does not matter. The Prophet ﷺ encouraged us to marry someone we are physically attracted to and pleased with. And there are several valid reasons to want to marry someone. But the most important one is of course going to be the deen, their values, their understanding of Islam and how much they prioritize it. Without that, the marriage will not have a strong anchor. And this is the same advice the Prophet ﷺ gave when a man proposes for marriage. Look for one who has character and deen, religion. So the 2 most important things to look for are deen and akhlaq. However, that does not mean that everything else is not important. It is, such as physical attraction and compatibility. And another key point to remember is that no one can be forced to marry in Islam. Consent is not only required, but essential. Both parties, the bride and the groom, must fully and freely agree. A good place to start with would be family and friends. Often the people who know you best are the ones who can recommend someone compatible. Then you've also got good Islamic environments, such as the mosques, maybe university ISOCs, Islamic classes and programs. You can also attend marriage events or register with matrimonial sites, but please make sure that you ensure that these are run by reputable Islamic organizations and or approved by Islamic scholars. Now before approaching someone, check if they're already being considered for marriage. Pursuing someone who's already engaged is not allowed in Islam. And the proper way is through the wali, the woman's guardian, usually her father, but it can also be another male relative. Remember, you're not plucking someone from a tree. She comes from a family that raised her, protected her, and wants what's best for her. So it's important that you approach the family and the wali and avoid secret conversations and emotional entanglements without the family's involvement. This is not allowed in Islam. Too many people talk for weeks, months, or even longer, only for it to collapse when the parents find out because they are simply not aligned. Now, once the family has agreed, you are in the process of getting to know each other. And remember to keep your conversations halal. This means never being alone together. Khalwa is not allowed. Similarly, no physical contact, of course, and all conversations should be appropriate and in service of the goal and the objective, which is to get to know each other so that you can get married. Remember to do it the right way. Now, once both parties are interested and the families agree, here's how you perform a valid Islamic nikah. There are 5 essential components and pillars. The first one is consent from both the bride and the groom. The bride's consent is especially crucial. You also need the presence of a wali, the woman's male guardian, father, brother, uncle, or grandfather. If he cannot attend, he may join online or appoint someone to represent him. You also need 2 Muslim witnesses. 2 adult Muslim men must witness the marriage contract. The meher or dowry is another part of the nikah process, a gift from the groom to the bride. This can be gold, money, jewelry, a car, anything of value really. And ideally it should be something manageable for the groom, not burdensome, but it's also the bride's right to request what she chooses. And you also have the option to pay it and give it immediately, or it can be deferred. But it must be honored. And finally, you need the verbal contract. This is called the aqd, a clear offer and acceptance. The wali says, I give you my daughter in marriage with the agreed upon meher. And then the groom replies, I accept her in marriage with the agreed upon meher. And with that acceptance, the nikah is done. It is sunnah to begin with the khutbatul hajah, a short sermon reminding the couple to fear Allah and uphold His commandments. After the nikah, it's also recommended to make dua for the new family that is formed, the bride and the groom. And we say, Barakallahu lakuma, wa baraka alaykuma, wa jama'a baynakuma fi khair. May Allah bless you and bless upon you and unite you both in goodness. Once the nikah is done, what's next? The Prophet ﷺ said, hold a wedding feast, even if it's with just 1 sheep. So yes, it's sunnah to hold a walima, a banquet. And this meal, the purpose of it is to announce and publicize the marriage. It doesn't have to be extravagant. And don't put yourself into debt doing the walima. And don't show off. Keep it simple, keep it sincere, and keep it within your means. And if you can invite those who are struggling and less fortunate, this is highly encouraged in Islam, that the meal that you are giving out is eaten by those that are the most in need. Islam honors your culture, your language, your clothing, your food, and your traditions, as long as none of it contradicts the deen. So yes, feel free to celebrate your customs, but stay away from anything that is prohibited, such as free mixing between the genders, music and haram entertainment, extravagance and waste, pride and showing off. Enjoy the beauty of your culture, but make sure that you're preserving the barakah of your marriage by sticking to the sunnah of our Prophet ﷺ. And there you have it, my brothers and sisters. That's how you get married in Islam. Now remember, marriage is rizq, a provision from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and will happen when Allah decrees it for you. So make sincere dua, take the right steps, and trust the process. Inshallah, Allah will provide you someone who is righteous and compatible. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
If you found this video helpful, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. For more videos like this, check out our full how-to playlist in the description below. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.